The vanilla ice cream aisle is hiding a problem most shoppers never notice. Every tub seems to promise the same thing: rich dairy, real vanilla, and that impossibly creamy scoop on the front. But turn the container around and the story can change completely. Because there's a legal line between what can actually be called ice cream and what can't. There are rules for milk fat. There are rules for vanilla. And there's a huge difference between seeing vanilla on the front and finding actual vanilla extract in the ingredients. Some tubs rely on natural flavor instead. Others use milk ingredients, stabilizers, and texture agents to create the richness the packaging wants you to expect. And here's the part most people miss. A product can taste exactly like vanilla without using vanilla extract at all. Today, we're counting down 7 vanilla ice cream tubs you may want to skip based on what's actually inside, not the picture on the lid. Then we'll finish with 3 brands that genuinely earn what they put on the front of the package. The worst offender is last. So before your next scoop, flip the tub over. Number 7. Kroger Deluxe, vividly vanilla. The one leaning on 2 words that mean nothing on a label. Cream is genuinely in this formula, sitting right behind milk as ingredient 2, which already puts it ahead of most of what's coming. But that cream is doing its job inside a structure held together by 6 separate texture agents, all folded under the single catch-all word, stabilizer, on the front panel. Cellulose gel, guar gum, cellulose gum, mono and diglycerides, locust bean gum, and carrageenan. Guar gum and locust bean gum are seed-derived thickeners. Cellulose gel and cellulose gum are plant fiber derivatives doing overlapping structural work. The mono and diglycerides are emulsifiers, keeping fat and water from splitting apart the way they naturally want to. Carrageenan, pulled from seaweed, is what's keeping ice crystals small enough that the tub still feels smooth after it's been refrozen a few times. None of that is dangerous. It's just an enormous amount of engineering hiding behind a front label that only says 4 words: Deluxe, vividly, vanilla. And notice that the flavor line reads natural and artificial flavor, not vanilla extract. That single word, artificial, sitting right there in plain sight, means part of what you're tasting was built to taste like vanilla rather than sourced from it. Corn syrup and high fructose corn syrup also show up as 2 separate ingredients, not one, meaning 2 different sweeteners are quietly doing the job most people assume plain sugar handles by itself. The cream is real here. The stabilizer count and the flavor line are the confession. Deluxe implies a step above the standard version of something. Vividly implies a flavor intensity strong enough to notice immediately. Neither word describes an ingredient. Both words describe a feeling the front label is trying to produce before you've read a single line of the panel underneath it. Number 6. Edy's and Dreyer's Slow Churned Classic Vanilla Light. The one that's honest about what it is and still worth a second look. Credit where it's due before anything else. Light is a real FDA-recognized nutrient content claim, not a word some marketing team invented. And this tub isn't hiding the fact that fat has been pulled out on purpose. But look at where cream actually lands on the list. 3rd, behind both non-fat milk and sugar. Right after corn syrup, 2 ingredients show up that aren't sweeteners and aren't flavor, no matter how they sound. Polydextrose and soluble corn fiber are bulking agents, brought in for one specific reason. When you pull dairy fat out of ice cream, something has to replace the thickness, the slow melt, the coating your tongue sensation people associate with richness, because that texture doesn't happen on its own once the fat that used to produce it is gone. Here, manufactured fiber does that job instead of cream. The slow churned process this line is named after is a real manufacturing technique, one that does genuinely produce smaller ice crystals by incorporating less air and working the base more slowly than a standard churn. But it's working alongside the fiber, not instead of it. And the carton only ever tells you about one of the 2 things actually holding this tub together. Say slow churned out loud to somebody in a grocery store, and it sounds like a process that adds richness. On this label, it's a process running in parallel with 2 engineered fibers, doing what fat can no longer do once a large share of it has been removed on purpose. Number 5. Halo Top Vanilla Bean. the one that admits, on its own label, that it isn't really ice cream. Cream is fifth on this list. Fifth, behind two different forms of milk, a corn fiber and a sugar alcohol. And here's the part that requires no interpretation from me at all. Several of Halo Top's own retail listings for this exact pint carry a footnote sitting right next to ultra-filtered skim milk, stating plainly in the brand's own words that it is not an ingredient found in regular ice cream. That's not an outside critic saying that about the product. That's the label saying it about itself. The company is upfront about the trade being made too, printing fat reduced by roughly 84% and calories cut by close to 60% compared to a standard full-fat pint directly on the package as a selling point, not something buried. Erythritol and stevia are both metabolized differently than ordinary sugar, which is the actual mechanism behind that calorie drop. A structural fact about the ingredients, not a verdict on whether the product is good or bad for you. Real vanilla beans genuinely are visible throughout the pint, but they're specks sitting inside a formula engineered around protein grams and sugar alcohols, not around dairy fat. And the label already told you that before I did. Inulin and soluble corn fiber are both doing double duty here too, adding the bulk and mouthfeel that a lower fat base can't produce on its own, while also padding the fiber count on the nutrition panel, a number diet-focused shoppers are specifically trained to look for. None of this makes the product bad. It makes it something other than what the tub sitting next to it in the same freezer case is actually offering, and the two are easy to confuse if you're only reading the front. Number 4. Blue Bunny Homemade Vanilla. The one where homemade is the only word in this formula that isn't backed up by anything on the panel. Cream is third here, right behind milk and skim milk, which sounds reasonable until you keep reading. The flavor line says natural and artificial flavors, making this one of only 2 tubs on this entire countdown where an actual artificial flavor is confirmed, sitting next to vanilla extract's absence. There's no vanilla extract anywhere on this label. And notice the color line, caramel color, listed separately from annatto extract for color. That's 2 different coloring agents layered on top of each other for a product that's supposed to be plain vanilla, which is worth sitting with for a second. A tub with real cream, real dairy, and real vanilla shouldn't need help from a caramel-based colorant to look the way vanilla ice cream is supposed to look. 4 separate gums round out the rest of the formula: carob bean gum, cellulose gum, tara gum, and carrageenan, on top of mono and diglycerides doing the emulsifying. Homemade is the warmest, most specific word on the front of any tub in this entire countdown. It's also the one doing the least amount of work to earn its place there. Nothing about a formula that includes an artificial flavor, 2 separate coloring agents, and 4 different gums happened in anyone's actual kitchen. The word isn't lying exactly. It's a flavor name, not a legal claim about how the product was made. But it's chosen precisely because almost nobody reads it that carefully, standing in front of a freezer case. If this is changing how you read a tub of vanilla before it goes in your cart, a quick like tells the algorithm to put this in front of somebody before they grab the wrong one off the shelf. 3 spots left, and the worst tub on this entire list is still ahead. Number 3. Great Value Vanilla Ice Cream, the 1-gallon tub. The one that skips cream entirely and still manages to include real vanilla. Here's the ingredient that should stop you before anything else. Milk fat and non-fat milk, not cream, sitting as the very first item on the label. That phrase means the fat in this tub was measured back into skim milk under a factory spec, a recombined blend, rather than skimmed straight off the top of fresh milk the way the word cream actually implies. Corn syrup and high fructose corn syrup both show up here too, 2 sweeteners doing what most shoppers assume sugar alone is handling. And yet, credit where it's due, actual vanilla extract does appear on this list, in a small amount, right alongside the natural flavor. More honesty about the vanilla than the next 2 entries on this countdown can claim. This tub is also built for an unusually long shelf life, rated for close to 18 months from its production date, which tells you plainly how engineered for distribution and storage this formula is, compared to something meant to be scooped within a few weeks of being churned. This is a store brand priced like a store brand, doing exactly what a budget tub is built to do. Clear the legal ice cream floor as cheaply and durably as it possibly can. Nobody buying the gallon size expects a San Marzano tomato story here, and the label isn't pretending otherwise the way some of the others on this list are. It isn't the worst tub on this list. It's just proof that cream and milk fat and non-fat milk are two different ingredients, no matter how similar the two phrases sound, standing in a cold aisle deciding between two nearly identical gallons. Number 2, Publix ice cream, vanilla flavored, the base classic tub, not the premium line sitting one shelf over in the exact same freezer case. The one where the same company tells you the truth twice, just not on this tub. Same recombined milk fat move as great value opens this label too. Milk fat and non-fat milk as ingredient 1. No whole cream anywhere on the panel. But this time, there's no vanilla extract backing it up at all, just natural and artificial vanilla flavor. Then the list keeps going. Calcium sulfate, polysorbate 80, an emulsifier layered on top of the mono and diglycerides already doing that same job. Dipotassium phosphate and sodium citrate, 2 buffering salts added specifically to keep milk proteins from clumping and to smooth out a texture that recombined, lower fat formulas tend to struggle with on their own. 15 ingredients total, more than anything else on this countdown so far, all of it working to hold together a formula that skipped the one ingredient that would have made most of that work unnecessary. And here's what makes this entry specifically worth calling out. Publix sells a premium tub, in the same store, in the same freezer case, whose own product description says plainly that it's made with real milk and cream, vanilla extract, and ground vanilla beans. Same company, same shelf, 2 completely different formulas for 2 different price points. That's not a coincidence. That's a company telling you exactly what the word classic means on this specific label, in this specific store, before you've even peeled back the lid. The premium tub isn't hidden. It's sitting a few inches away in the same section, at eye level, proof that the formula on this tub wasn't the only option available. It was the option chosen for this particular price point. Number 1. Friendly's Vanilla Premium Ice Cream, the one that changed the recipe and kept the promise exactly where it was. Friendly's has been scooping ice cream in New England since the 1930s, and that heritage is the entire brand identity. The soda fountain nostalgia, the red awning, the sundae you probably had as a kid at an actual Friendly's location. The current label reads milk fat and non-fat milk, sugar, corn syrup, sweet cream buttermilk. Whey, natural flavor. Guar gum, mono and diglycerides, xanthan gum, carrageenan, annatto and turmeric extract for color. No cream, listed as its own ingredient, anywhere on that panel. No vanilla extract listed as its own ingredient, anywhere on that panel either. Here's what separates this entry from the recombined milk fat tubs already on this list. Older label captures of this exact product line, still findable through ingredient tracking archives that record packaging over time, list cream and vanilla extract by name, plainly as their own standalone ingredients. The current label has neither. Somewhere between those 2 versions of this label, years apart, the actual recipe changed, and the word premium, printed in what's probably the same typeface it's used for decades, did not change with it. Neither did the 90-year heritage story sitting right next to it on the package, a story built entirely on the idea that nothing about this recipe has ever changed. That's not a coincidence. That's a company that quietly rewrote the formula at some point along the way and simply left the promise on the label exactly where it always was. Of every tub on this list, this is the widest gap between what the front of the package is asking you to feel and what the ingredient panel underneath it is actually willing to admit to. A brand with no heritage story to protect can reformulate quietly, and nobody notices the contrast. A brand whose entire identity is built on "nothing has changed since 1935" doesn't get to make that same quiet change and keep the story intact. One of the 2 had to give, and it wasn't the story. Here's the pattern across all 7, one more time before we flip it completely. Cream got replaced by milk fat and non-fat milk, on more of these tubs than not. Real vanilla extract got replaced by plain natural flavor almost as often. And the words doing the heaviest emotional lifting on the front of the package, premium, homemade, classic, showed up most consistently on exactly the tubs with the least actual cream sitting inside them. None of the 7 brands on this list are hiding anything illegal. Every substitution described so far is completely permitted under federal food law. That's the actual point. The system doesn't require a company to put cream in a product called premium. It only requires the label to be technically accurate, and a recombined milk-fat blend, technically, is accurate. Here's what the top of the shelf looks like instead, and why these 3 back up the word the others were only borrowing. Best option number 3, Ben & Jerry's Vanilla, the one where cream finally sits exactly where the word on the lid implies it should. Cream is first, not third, not fifth, not replaced by a recombined blend. First. Only 2 stabilizers run through the entire formula, guar gum and carrageenan, not 6. And the vanilla comes from 2 directions at once. Actual vanilla extract, plus visible vanilla bean specks running through the base. Sourced through small-scale farmer partnerships, the company names specifically in its own marketing. Ben & Jerry's leans hard into rich, dessert-heavy mix-ins across most of its lineup, so this isn't a brand running a simple ingredients story across the board. But for plain vanilla specifically, the label backs up exactly what the lid is promising before you've opened it. Compare this ingredient list against Kroger's at number 7, both of them starting with cream near the top, and the difference isn't whether cream is present, it's how much has been added around it afterward. Best option number 2, Tillamook Old-Fashioned Vanilla, the one from a dairy that puts its actual claim on the front instead of burying it. Cream leads this list too. Only 2 gums show up in the entire formula, Terra gum and guar gum, nothing else propping up the texture underneath them. Tillamook's own packaging states outright that this product is made with more cream than the standard actually requires, a claim a farmer-owned Oregon dairy cooperative, founded back in 1909, prints directly on the front of the tub instead of leaving it to fine print. Natural flavor does show up on this list too, but here it's rounding out a base that already has real vanilla extract doing the actual work, not standing in for one that was never there to begin with. That's the difference natural flavor makes depending on where it sits in a formula. Next to vanilla extract, it's a minor supporting note. Alone, it's the whole flavor doing all the work by itself. Best option number 1, Häagen-Dazs Vanilla, the one that wins by having almost nothing else in it at all. Cream, skim milk, cane sugar, egg yolks, vanilla extract. 5 ingredients in full. The same 5 a company founded in 1960 by 2 entrepreneurs working out of the Bronx built an entire international brand around, choosing a made-up, vaguely Danish-sounding name specifically to signal old-world quality on a shelf full of American competitors. No gums, no stabilizers, no emulsifiers of any kind, no natural and artificial flavor, catch-all doing quiet work in the background where nobody's reading closely enough to notice. Cream is first. Vanilla extract is the only flavor ingredient on the entire panel, and every word on that list is something you'd recognize sitting in a home kitchen, not a food science lab. Of everything on this list, this is the plainest possible proof that the word cream only means something when there's nothing else in the ingredient list standing in to quietly do its job for it. Go back and count the ingredients on Friendly's at number 1, 11, then count these, 5. The shortest list on this entire countdown belongs to the tub with nothing left to hide behind. So here's the actual takeaway, and it's simpler than a 9-item countdown makes it sound. Cream, premium, and homemade are words a marketing team chooses because they know exactly how those words make you feel, standing in a cold aisle deciding what goes in the cart. The ingredient panel is the only part of that same package that had to be true. Flip the tub over before you trust the front. The front already told you what it wants you to feel walking away with it. The back tells you what you're actually bringing home. None of this means the tubs at the bottom of this list are unsafe to eat, and nobody needs to clear out their freezer tonight. It means the word on the front and the ingredients on the back are two different conversations, written by two different departments, held to two completely different standards of proof. And only one of those two conversations was ever required by law to be true. Which one of these 7 is sitting in your freezer right now? Tell me in the comments, and if this changed how you're going to read a tub of vanilla next time, go ahead and subscribe. There's a lot more shelf left to get through.